Hi, I'm Steph Hughes, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can really capitalize on the flexibility offered by the new classroom setup. When designing the classroom standard, we consulted broadly across campus to make sure that we included enough range of equipment to suit different teaching styles. From the chalkboard, a real classroom staple, to digital options like a document camera, a PC, and other equipment in the room, I'll show you how you can use these various tools to keep your students engaged. Research shows that the average person responds better to a range of stimuli, both visual and auditory, and that's why we've equipped the classrooms with a pretty impressive array of audio and visual technology. This gives you the freedom to introduce different media into your teaching mix to help you keep your students focused. I'll also include some tips and tricks to help you make the best use of the equipment in the classroom. There's enough space for pretty much everything that you need to bring to the classroom with you. These pull-out trays are very useful for putting down books or a laptop to use while you're teaching. Just remember, don't sit on it. The lectern's a little high for me at the moment, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down a bit by holding down the down arrow, and when I'm happy with the position, I just need to take my finger off the button. To start off, let's set the lighting. This will be helpful for students in the class and also if you're doing lecture recording. The switch bank is on the back wall in this classroom, but it could be placed in other places in other venues. For the best lighting, try to keep the lecturer lights and the hall lights on. In this case, I'm going to be using the chalkboard, so I've also got the board lights on. However, if I was going to use the data projectors, then I would need to switch the board lights off before proceeding. Some classrooms have automated blinds, and that really helps if the room's a little bit too bright. In this case, I think I'm going to bring them down a bit because I'm going to use a data projector later. If you do bring the blinds down, just remember to bring them back up again at the end of your lecture, just in case there's load shedding, because then the next group that comes into the room will at least be able to have some light. In the larger classrooms, students at the back may not hear you properly. You may also have some hearing impaired students in your classroom. Hearing loops have been fitted across most of the classrooms at UCT. Wearing a mic will help these students, and it will also help you if you're doing lecture recording. You're going to need your staff card in order to open up the safe. Hold your staff card against the sensor, and then be careful when you open the doors. Some of the doors tend to fall forwards. The mic is in the safe. It's busy charging. So I'm just going to carefully unplug it. The mic consists of two parts, the body pack containing a battery and the mic that I'm going to be speaking into. For the best sound quality, I need to pin the mic at chest level. I can either clip it to my clothing or to a lanyard, but I shouldn't hold it in my hand as this degrades the sound quality. Then I need to switch on the body pack. If I switch it on and it turns to green, then I know that everything's okay. However, if it goes amber or red, then I need to call a classroom technician to come and help me, as it means the battery's probably flat. Once I've done that, I just need to clip it onto my clothing. Finally, I'm going to adjust the mic to the levels that work best in the room. I just turn the knob until the sound is right for me. If I'm recording a lecture, I don't need to set any particular levels for the recording. That will all get sorted out afterwards. I just have to find a level that's comfortable to talk in the classroom. I also don't need to project my voice as if I'm on a stage. Just normal talking will do. The one thing that you do have to remember though is that if a student asks you a question or makes a comment from the room, you're the one with the mic. So just repeat what they've said so that everyone else can hear it too. Now that my mic is ready and working, I'm going to show you how I set up for a lecture. I'm going to open by using some images off this flash drive. I've also got a PowerPoint presentation and some great images that I'm going to use from this book. I also want to show students how I can make some setting changes on the camera. I love the fact that I can use different screens and different combinations in this room. For now though, I'm only going to use one screen, so let me bring that screen down. I'm going to use the screen on the right. And I turn the data projector on here. The top row of buttons controls the projector on the left. I just have to press this button to power it on. It'll take a minute or so to warm up. While that happens, I'm going to bring the screen monitor up. The PC monitor is kept securely in the lectern and it's motorized so that when I press this button, it comes up. The keyboard and the mouse are tucked away in the pull-out drawer. Now if I look at the screen, you'll see that it's a little bit bright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch off the board lights. While I've got my presentation on the screen, I may also want to write something on the chalkboard, but I'm not much of a chalkboard fan. I have to write quite big, and it's not that easy for students to see. Another thing to remember is that chalk dust is not at all good for the sensitive equipment in this lectern. So please don't put the chalk or the chalkboard duster down on the lectern, rather put it somewhere else. I actually prefer using the document camera, which is built into the lectern. It's less messy and I prefer the way that it shows up on the screen. It's similar to the old overhead projectors. I've already brought it up out of the lectern. I've switched on the data projector on the other side and I've brought that screen down. I can write anything that I need to write onto the overhead projector slide, or draw drawings, or whatever is applicable. As you can see, whatever I've drawn on the overhead projector slide shows up on the other side on the screen. You can still use your old overhead projector slides that you have. There's no need to throw them out. Just make sure that you put a piece of white paper down underneath your overhead slide so that it shows up clearly on the screen. Whatever you display on the surface of the document camera will also show up on the screen. So in this instance, I'm going to use a book and show images on a page. I need to adjust my focus, so I'm going to press the down button on the document camera, and that will move the head down a fraction, and then press the stop button when I'm happy with the focus that it's attained. Now the document camera isn't only used for paper-based images. You can also use 3D objects underneath the document head. This is really good for live demos. In this example, I might want to use my camera to show people how to make a setting change. I've put my camera on the surface, but the display might not be that clear to everyone. I'm just going to add some light by pressing on the button. At the moment, the document camera is projected onto the left screen only. I can switch the right projector to show the same thing. And I can continue showing the same visuals on both sides, or I can switch when I need to so that I've got two different things up. So far I've only been using the PC, but what if I wanted to use a laptop? I'd need to connect it up to the lectern. The cables are available in the safe. If you've got a VGA laptop, you'll need to use the older VGA cables and connect up the audio and the visuals. However, I've got an HDMI laptop and I just need to connect up the HDMI cable into the relevant port. Now that the laptop's connected, I just need to switch to the right projection mode. Up on the console at the top here, I just need to press HDMI because I am projecting from an HDMI laptop. If, however, I was using the VGA one, I would have to use the laptop button. Earlier on, we adjusted the sound volumes for the mic button. Now I want to use the PC button to adjust the volumes for the laptop. If you need help using any of the equipment in the classroom, then please refer to the laminated sheet that is left on the lectern for you. Sometimes though, something might really be wrong, in which case use the phone. As you lift it, you'll see that there are pre-programmed numbers. And if you scroll down to option number 2 and then press call, that will alert the CSS help desk. They'll talk you through any help that you might need. And if they can't help you over the phone, they'll send a consultant down here to help you. Option number 1 and number 4 are for emergency numbers, such as fire or security issues or medical problems. If something is physically wrong in the room, like broken furniture or an air conditioning problem, then option 3 goes through to properties and services so that you can log a maintenance call. The classroom will only dial these specific numbers. It can't be used to make outgoing calls or to phone your colleagues. When my lecture's over, I need to pack up and put everything away so that it's ready for the next lecturer when they come in. I need to log off from the PC, switch off all their electronic equipment, roll up the blinds and the screens, put away any cables and the mic back into the safe, and I must remember to plug the mic back in so that it charges again. And that's it. I hope that my demonstration has helped to show you all the different teaching equipment in our newly renovated classrooms. Thanks so much for watching and happy teaching. Goodbye.